I don't know how you guys are going to receive this video, but I'm WarKoopa, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about how the community is killing its own game, because everyone talks about how Lilith is killing its own game by doing this and by doing that. But no one ever points out just how much the community endlessly complains about literally everything. So if you have some time to share, sit back and listen to me complain about people complaining in the game that I play. And the first thing that we'll talk about is something that affects everyone, and it's a constant problem in kingdoms everywhere, and that would be the rogue and leadership situation. Rogues have been around forever. They won't ever stop existing because leadership can be unfair sometimes, and not everyone can just sit back and watch it happen. So to the rogues out there, we don't hate all of you, we understand some of you. But for the ones that are consistently breaking through MGE rankings by accident when you're not even in the top 10 or 15, what are you doing? Genuinely. There are messages being sent out about what the point limits are or what's gonna happen if you break the rules, but still, you act like you didn't know you weren't supposed to do that. Like, even if you didn't know you weren't supposed to do that because you didn't read the mails or whatever, then you're still dumb for not reading them, and you're dumb for not knowing the MGE rules after playing for such a long time. And obviously this doesn't go for the younger kingdoms because people are still learning in those. But for an older kingdom, especially one that's already in Season of Conquest, what are you guys doing? And that's not even the worst part of the rogues. The bad ones are actually the ones that say that they're going to be there for KVK and then they never show up. Or if they do show up, it's not for a long time because then they have school or work or a family. And don't get me wrong, that's perfectly fine. That's more important and everyone will understand that. But what are you doing here then? You read the mails, and if you don't, then that's your fault. If you can't commit, then stop pretending to commit. Just get zeroed because you do have more important things to do. Or at least go to a dead kingdom where you can go do your thing and not have to worry about it. Because I get that it sucks for you that you have to go through that, but how are you gonna act like you did nothing wrong or like you didn't know when your kingdom is constantly telling you what the expectations and what the consequences are? And then in retaliation, you shield forever breaking MGE rankings, and you make it difficult for everyone that had nothing to do with your drama, and you make them pay for the grudge that you hold. I get it if you're one of those people that you're like, I don't care, F the world. That's fine, go ahead and take on everybody, but I have the issue with the rogues that can't comprehend why their kingdom is upset with them, and then they act like the world is the issue and not them. Now, on the other side of the coin, there's leadership, and they can be just as dumb and inconsiderate too. Like, how are you gonna plot to kick someone out of the kingdom for months or even weeks ahead of time and then be like, oh, by the way, this is a list of people that we want out and they have 1 week to leave or they're going to get zeroed and then looted. It's like, whoa, they have to find the kingdom first, buddy. It ain't that easy. First you have to find a good place, ideally, and then you have to even get accepted. And that's hard in itself. And then on top of that, they have to get passports that are extremely difficult to get. And to make it even worse, leadership will even make it to where you have to pay an arm and a leg in resources just to get the passports from the people that are kicking you out of your own home. So it's a fart and then a slap to the face. And it can still get worse because if you can't leave because you can't physically pay for all the passports at that time, then you get zeroed and then looted, right? And then at that point, how do you even pay for the passports now? That's how you kill a game. And to all the corrupt kingdoms giving MGEs to only their friends that don't deserve it, we hate you. Those are the kingdoms that make rogues, and they deserve those rogues. Moving on to another form of complaining that I think might kill the game at some point is the constant complaining of content coming your way. Like, on one hand, y'all say the game is boring and stale, and then on the other hand, y'all say it's too much stuff, it's too expensive, and you can't keep up. It's so easy to blame the game developers when the community doesn't even want the same thing. So it looks like everyone is unhappy with everything. It's only whatever is benefiting your account at the time that makes people happy, and that's just impossible to do for everybody. And the prime example is I wanted new gear to come out. That's what I was excited about, but everyone had a different opinion, so they all complained, and now we have the new awakening system, which is an L in my opinion compared to getting new gear. But hey, this is exactly what the community wanted, but that's neither here nor there. Back to the topic of people complaining about too much content, like how all these new commanders keep coming out too fast and you can't keep up with it. Well, then stop investing in all of them. You don't need that many commanders. It's not like every commander is good anyways. It's either a hit or miss for most of them. I guarantee you people were out there complaining about having commanders released too fast and then they skipped the new siege cycle. This cycle bought people time to save up for the next one, which is going to be cavalry. We probably have so many coming out because not everyone uses the same troops as you. Not everyone uses ranged or infantry or archers or cavalry. Bottom line is, if you can't invest in something, plan for the next one, or at least plan for something else. You don't need all of them. Skip a cycle or 2 or 3 if that's what you need to do. You're crazy if you think that you, a free-to-play or a mid-spender, can keep up with rich people. And if you're a whale complaining about it too, well then just stop wanting to do it all. The moment that players can keep up with the game is the moment that players quit. Lastly is the expectation that Lilith isn't going to take the route that makes them the most money. And you would think that everyone already knows that by now, right? Well, they certainly don't talk like it. Every day you see and hear people saying, well, Lilith can make it so that we get all of our materials back when we dismantle legendary gear. Then we can finally afford things. It's like, brother, what? Do you not realize that if that happens, people will no longer need materials at all? People can just recycle all of their mistakes, and when new content releases, everyone is going to be ready with materials. Without the need for materials, they literally lose an entire stream of revenue, which is just them shooting themselves in the foot. Why would Lilith do that to themselves? Why are you guys all on board with that idea as if that's going to keep them profitable? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to glaze Lilith or anything, but I at least live in the reality, and I have already accepted the fact that they function off of profit. And yes, it's very important for them to be profitable because that's the only way that the game stays around. But if the community fails to understand this, among many other things, well then that's how you kill a game. Anyways, I'm WarKoopa. My kingdom is 2633. I'm looking for people to join my kingdom after KVK. Yeah, that's it for the video. Later.